Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. I'm your host, Tommy. And today, guys, I just want to talk about this season and the tragedy and heartbreak so far that the city of Buffalo and the Buffalo Bills players have endured. Um, it's just been really, really tough on everyone. And I just kind of want to give you a little timeline and for those that really don't understand um what this city, what these players, um what Bill's Mafia have gone through. And it's really, honestly, guys, it's remarkable that the players are, you know, still fighting and still um focused. They're still focused on a Super Bowl for this city, for themselves. Um, because right now, this city needs something positive. They need joy in their hearts. So I'm gonna give you a little breakdown, and if I've missed something, I apologize. But um, this is everything that I've you know have witnessed or gone through this year, this past year, and unfortunately are ready to start 2023. So let's go back in May. Um, as you guys know, and the world knows, um, there was a mass shooting in Buffalo, at a top supermarket, killing 10 people, injuring several more. Um, it was a day that will forever be in my mind. It's a day that will forever be in the city of Buffalo's mind and in many across the world. Um, Something that you know the city of Buffalo rallied, kind of just gathered and became one. The city of Buffalo became one, and really just everybody in general. Um, the Buffalo Bills players showed up, um, you know, to support the victims, and it was, it was touching to see. And I think every single Bills player um, showed up, and lent a hand of just emotional support, everything they could do to, you know, put some kind of um, positive spin. I not even positive spin. It's just some kind of, you know, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. Just some kind of warmth in somebody's heart there that was suffering that day. And I guess positive spin is the wrong word to use. Um, More just some kind, just someone being there. Especially Bills players take the time, and a lot of those players don't live in Buffalo. They came down right away, and to be with some of the victims' families. And it just shows you, you know how what this city means to the players. So it started there, started in May, um, and things kind of got, you know w- we started moving on to football here, and coming in, and OTAs and training camp shortly after. This seemed like the city was coming together, and Buffalo Bills football was you know in the swing of things, and people were excited for the Buffalo Bills. You know, then August happens, and as you guys know, Dawson Knox's brother, Luke, passed away. He was playing for FIU, 22 years old, just passed away in his dorm room, I believe it was, unexpectedly. Um, so just a huge, heartbreaking event that happened. Um, right to start the camp right away in August. I mean that's just unbelievable timing and talk about uh you know a player going into the season with high hopes and you know now he has this happen. And you guys know any video you've seen or any interviews you've seen from Dawson Knox, they are a close family. I know they have some adopted brothers, and they're just it's a big family that's just very close, and that's a huge loss, man. He was still a kid, 22, so I can't imagine what's going through Dawson Knox's mind at that time. Football is the last thing, but he also understands that he has to move on his career. It's sad to say that, but it's true. He understands that, but I still think it has to bother him. I mean, that's your younger brother, um, and it's just so unexpected. So that happens in August. Um, then week 2, Monday Night Football versus Titans. Dane Jackson suffers a neck injury. Um, was accidentally hit by Tremaine Edmonds on a tackle, and ambulance comes out. Very scary scene in Buffalo. And in the same game, Micah Hyde goes out with a neck injury. And we actually wind up losing Micah Hyde for the season because the neck injury winded up being more serious than it initially was thought. So, talk, already, from May to week 2, City of Buffalo, the Buffalo Bills players have already gone through a lot already in such a short amount of time, preparing for this Super Bowl run, right? So we move forward. We go to week 11. There's a major snowstorm in Buffalo. So we cannot play at home versus the Browns. We're forced to go and play in Detroit. Just wildness already. We've already lost one home game because of the schedule, how it's played out this season. Now we lose another. Not to mention we play the Lions. Uh, you know, 4 days later on a Thursday. Then you have to then we have another Thursday game right after. So I think it was like 10. Was it 3 games in 10 days? Something crazy. It was just really wild timeline there for the Buffalo Bills to go through. Not to mention just it was a mission to get to the airport, and once again, Bills Mafia helping the players shovel snow out of their driveways because it was that bad that plows couldn't get there. This just goes once again, shows you the love, support that these players have from Bills Mafia. Then December 7th, the Von Miller basically, it comes out that Von Miller will miss the rest of the season with a torn ACL. Obviously, before a couple weeks, I think it was before that he did get hurt against the Lions on that Thanksgiving Day game. His leg. They initially thought it was maybe a couple weeks, maybe he'd be back for the playoffs. But once they got in, searching around the knee, they saw that there was a slight tear. So there's more bad news there. So Von Miller out for this season, torn ACL. So the hits just keep coming for the Buffalo Bills. Then December 27th comes around, 26th, let's say, 27th. Major snowstorm, one of the biggest that ever hit Buffalo. Over 30 people passed away in this snowstorm. People without food, and water, electricity for weeks, right? Uh, and then we got week 17. Monday Night Football against the Bengals. First quarter. Damar Hamlin. Routine tackle. Something we see happen all the time. Every football game. That is as routine as you get. I've seen way worse hits to the chest area. I've seen way more, crazy. Just wild hits, tackles, whatever. And that wasn't one of them. That was very routine. As you guys saw on the film, or when you're watching it live, Hamlin popped up like it was nothing. Routine, like I said, got up right away, sprung up really, and collapsed. And from everything that's been reported, and I talked about this already with you guys on my last video. I forget the term of it again. I apologize. I forget the term of what it's called, but it's basically your heart has a rhythm, and in that rhythm, there's like 2 milliseconds where it kind of like cycles through or something like that. They said, and if you were to get hit, with enough blunt trauma to the chest, heart area, in that time frame, that tiny time frame, your heart can basically go into a shock wave, like basically, and you have a massive heart attack, basically. And that's what happened. It hasn't been official. The doctors have not officially stated what happened, but most doctors that I've seen get interviewed have said the same thing. This is what they believe it is, or what happened. And he went into cardiac arrest on the field. They performed CPR for over 9 minutes. The uncle recently came out and said his heart gave out twice. Stop. They had to do CPR. They did CPR on the field, and then they also did it right when they got to the hospital. His heart stopped beating again. There is some good news. I want to report on Damar Hamlin. They came out today. His agent, Jordan, I forget his last name. I apologize, but his first name's Jordan. Came out, and also the uncle as well. But he's the representative. He's actually the agent of Damar Hamlin, and said the doctors are saying he's doing better today. He's showing a good improvements. They also said his breathing is gotten better. He I think they said he's 50% using the breathing tube now. So positive directions, positive signs are saying. So that's a really good sign, guys, for Damar Hamlin. I want to just, tell you that, let's keep our prayers up for him. Let's keep our thoughts, obviously, with him and his family. But I wanted to go through this with you, this timeline of events, to tell you what really has gone on in the city of Buffalo and in the Bills organization and the players. And for you guys that are not Bills fans that are tuning in, watching this, I want you to understand this has been rough. This has been a rough year for us, for fans, like I said, for the city of Buffalo, players, and I want you guys to really understand that it hasn't been easy. And I do these podcasts. I have fun with them. My co-host has fun. My other guys that come on here that do podcasts, their passion is the Buffalo Bills, and it's been a rough year covering this team with all the events that have taken place um, through the season. But we keep on because we keep our head up, right? We know there's the the bad only lasts so long, right? These are hurdles we got to get through. I mean, they're bad, yes, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. There has to be. There always is, right? And you can't put your head down. You can't give up. And that's what the Buffalo Bills are doing, guys. And I said this earlier in this season when we were 6-3 or 7-3 at the time. And Bills Mafia, a little tough on the team at the time. And I said you guys got to really look at you got to take a step back and look at the big picture. Look what the Buffalo Bills have gone through up until that point. Imagine up until that point, right? 7-3, 6-3. I think I did that video, and already a lot had happened up until that point, and we were still fighting on this team and winning games, right? A lot, I don't wish us on anybody or any team to go through what we've gone through this season. I don't recall a season like this for any team. And I'm not saying teams don't have injuries, bad things, or bad things have happened, to other cities. I'm not saying that, but I just don't know if I've seen it in one whole season where everything like this is just taking place for this team in the city of Buffalo. Not to mention just all the other stuff, that like Josh Allen getting injured versus the Jets. He's playing hurt all season with the arm injury, the elbow injury. Not to mention Jordan Poyer. It comes out he has something wrong with it with his elbow. He's playing through. He's going to have to play through an injury and get surgery at the end of the season, right? I mean, but I don't mention those early on because those were injuries. I understand that happens, but I'm just saying there's a lot that's happened, and for this team to be where they're at, right? Uh, you know, number one in the East, won the East. I'm sorry, AFC East champions still have a chance to win the AFC. Go at least go in number one in the playoffs. Tells you all you need to know about this team, about the heart, the fight, right? That this team has and Bills Mafia rallying behind them, right? Giving them hope and inspiration and cheering for them and being at the airport when they get back you know, from winning the AFC East, right? Against Chicago, right? Like little things like that. Like, somebody said to me once, I posted a video on that and they're like, oh, don't you think the players, don't you think they're bothered by that? They hate that. They just want to go home. Like Bills Mafia showing up at the airport. And I said, no, I don't think so. That probably makes them feel like so honored that these people will go in the freezing cold to just cheer them for, you know, what, 5-10 minutes while they're getting in their cars. I mean, honestly, guys, think about it. It's not like these fans are hopping the gates and stopping them from getting in their cars and leaving the airport. They're behind gates. They're getting off an airplane and waving to the fans for what, a period of less than 5 minutes while they walk to their cars? That's not inconveniencing. That's not a bothersome to them, right? And you got to remember the fans are out there probably standing out there for hours in the cold. The players probably love that. They respect that. No other city does that for their team. Nah, come on now. That trust me, they love that. They respect that. That's what makes Bills Mafia the best fan base in the world. Um, but guys, like I said, man, for our record right now, where it is, you should feel very proud of this team. 12-3. We've had a great December of football, and I told you guys we were turning things around. This is going to be tough for us to bounce back from. I'm not going to lie. This is a tough one. But the fact that Damar Hamlin is showing signs of improvement, I think this team, can rally behind him and make this make the rest of the season for him, right? For Damar, for the city of Buffalo, right? For everything they've gone through. Like there's so much right now that you know that's happened that they can use, as fuel and really just go out and play with nothing but passion and heart, which by the way, they've been doing all season, in my opinion. And real quick, kudos to shout out to Sean McDermott. Shout out to Brandon Bean, the ownership of the Buffalo Bills, the Gulas. I want to say big shout out to Cincinnati Bengals, real quick. Again, very classy move that was on Monday night by their head coach, by their players. Classy fan base showing up at the hospital, right? Just all around classy. And for everyone that's donating to Damar Hamlin's toy drive that he started, it's almost up to $6 million, I think I last saw. Unbelievable. Shows you uh that there's still a lot of good in this world. And I really, that I don't know. I'm kind of lost for words when it comes to that because it's heartwarming. It really is. It just, like I said, it just tells you that, there's, like I said, just a lot of good people out there still. There's times where, in the past where I thought, man, so much evil in this world, and it's not, a lot of people just, it's not a lot of good people left. And, you know, times like this, it maybe proves what I'm saying or thinking wrong. Maybe there is a lot of good people left in this world, and obviously it's showing with this because I think the world has rallied behind Buffalo. I really do. I truly believe that. I know. You got your teams. If you're whatever fan base you are, but I think you're still in your. I think a lot of them are still rooting for the Bills. I do. I truly believe that. But anyways, guys, I want to close this podcast out with something that our great legendary head coach once said. And this is a great way to end this podcast, this video. So I'm gonna go ahead and play it now for you guys.
Fight on, my men, Sir Andrew said. A little I'm hurt, but not yet slain. I'll just lie down and bleed a while. Then I'll rise and fight again.
All right, Bills Mafia. I love you. Go Bills. Peace out.